Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rosa. Welcome. I make beauty content on Mondays and some vlogs and lifestyle on Thursdays at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So if that sounds interesting to you, then check out my channel. Stick around for more content by clicking on the subscribe button and clicking that bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 12 things that I will no longer buy. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. I have 12 things to talk about that I will no longer buy. Most of them are beauty related, but I do have one item that's just kind of thrown in there. I have become very conscious about the way I purchase things, and I like to keep an eco-friendly mind when I am shopping. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is cotton pads. I no longer use disposable cotton pads, and instead I have moved to reusable cotton pads. To be very honest, these are not specifically cotton pads. These are actually just like those like makeup puffs. They kind of suck for that reason. So I started using them to apply like my toners in the morning. Whenever I started washing them, I like to put like some soap and I just go like this, and I've noticed that the stitching on the back started to come off. And as you can see, I actually try to sew it, but I think it's just better for me to move on to actual cotton pads. But because I had so many of these, I just, instead of throwing them away, I could just use them up as much as possible, and I don't have to worry about throwing away cotton pads because they're just so wasteful. Number 2, I no longer use feminine pads. I've always used feminine pads, never used tampons, never will. For that reason, I also will never use a Diva cup. I just recently started getting my cycle back. I had a child last year, so for a whole year I did not have a period. Now that it came back, I wanted to look for ways to not be so wasteful. I actually found reusable pads, but I have not tried them yet. So instead, what I tried are these like period underwear. I just purchased these on my last cycle of TMI, but I do tend to have a heavy flow. I wasn't sure if these were gonna work for me. I actually saw a couple of people that I watched review period underwear, and they had fairly good experiences. I found a pack of 3 on Amazon for about $35, which is a lot cheaper than buying one pair for $35, and I really like it. It's very comfortable. It almost reminds me like a type of swimming underwear, like the type of material. It's stretchy. They do say to kind of size up so that you don't get any kind of pressure on, on the bikini area. For me, I didn't have any problems. There were obviously always good and bad reviews and everything. There's some people that said that it wasn't really good to use it by itself, and so they had to use a backup, and you can do that. You can either use the underwear as a backup, especially if you're going to go to sleep at night, because it does have a thick layer that goes on the front all the way to the back of the underwear, so that when you lay at night you don't leak. So you can use it with a pad, or you can use it without a pad. I did not get these fast enough, so I didn't get to use them for the first 2 days, which are my heaviest flow. But on the 3rd day, when it starts to get into more medium, I did use it in overnight, and it was awesome. I used it by itself. If you're a heavy flow, you can probably switch to 2 underwears a day, which is probably what I'm gonna do next time. When you're done using them, you can just rinse them and throw it in the washer, and the only thing is that you gotta make sure that you don't dry it in the dryer. You have to actually hang them up and just air dry. So if you want to invest in these, I will definitely link them down below so that you can find these specific ones. There are other cheaper ones on Amazon, but they specifically tell you that they're only used as a backup. You have to use it with something else, either your pad or your tampon. They don't absorb as good as these do. Moving on to the next thing, I no longer use makeup wipes. I now use the makeup eraser. Well, I should say the little pack of makeup erasers. I never got to try the big one. I looked on Ulta and they have packs of 7, so it is perfect. I don't wear makeup every day, so it's more than enough. You can just use water, but I have also used it with micellar water, and then use a regular cleanser to cleanse the makeup completely off. I personally like to hand wash them and then throw them in the dryer, so that way they can dry fast and they don't have to stay damp for longer than I want to. But I really recommend you looking into these, because makeup wipes can sometimes have ingredients in them that can be really harsh on your skin, and of course they can be very wasteful as well. Okay, the next thing is eye cream. I no longer buy eye cream. I learned a lot about my skincare through Leah Liu on YouTube, but I'm also following Hiram. I have learned that eye cream it's not really necessary. Just using a moisturizer has been enough for my under eyes. I know that this topic could be a little bit controversial, so of course you can do your own research and you can decide, but they tend to be very expensive. I know that sleep, it's probably the biggest influence on your under eyes, but remember also that genetics can play a role in it too. So I don't really worry too much about it. That's why I can rely on concealer to cover those under eyes. So yes, no longer eye creams for me. The next thing is I no longer use a makeup brush cleaner. The reason why I no longer buy them is because I can use this like a dish soap or a soap like this one, this Castile soap, and you only need a little bit of that to really clean your brushes out. I'm also referring to the ones on the spray that are really easy and fast to clean your brushes. I no longer buy those because I found myself a DIY of those. I actually have a video on how I created mine. I will definitely link it up in the cards and down below in the description. You can use alcohol, witch hazel, a little bit of soap. You can put a little bit of oil so that your brushes don't get super dry. There's tons of DIY brush cleaners that you can use yourself, and you don't have to buy a $10-15 bottle every single time. This one works. I use this to clean my brushes right after makeup, and then weekly I do use something like this. The next thing is I no longer buy nail polish. Now right now I have nail polish on because my nails have been cracking and I just felt a little embarrassed coming onto the camera. I was on the nail polish trend a few years back, especially when KO polish still existed. I know that Kathleen Lights now has her new brand of nail polish, but I realized that I no longer really have time to do my nails. I know that these are gonna chip like tonight because I do a lot of housework and my job requires me to be really hands-on. What I have is what I'll keep, probably until they go bad and I have to throw them away. What I have been interested in more is the nail wraps. They're really easy. They're like these stickers that you just pop them on, and they lasted me almost a month. Very inexpensive instead of going out to this nail salon and getting your nails for $40. That's why I personally will not longer spend any more money on nail polish. Another thing I no longer buy is cheap jewelry. Recently I made an order on the Wish app. I got carried away and bought some stuff. The majority were not really that great. What I'm wearing right now has been from that last Wish app order. So far these are hanging in there pretty well. This ring is not doing too bad. It did advertise it as sterling silver, which I know it's a very good metal and it lasts you forever and it's very inexpensive. But the reason I had bought this ring is because the word mom was supposed to be in rose gold, but it already faded away, so it is what it is. I only paid like maybe less than $5 for this. So, and then this bracelet here is also a rose gold. The brand is from DaVinci, but I actually got this on Poshmark. I had seen this bracelet last year at the mall, but I didn't get it that time. And then later when I wanted to get it, it was no longer there, so I went on Poshmark and I was lucky enough to find it. This seems like a good quality because it has lasted me for months now. All this to say that I realized I no longer want to purchase like cheap jewelry. I rather invest in like pieces that will last me pretty much forever. I regret buying so much cheap jewelry. I just rather invest in pieces. I don't really get to wear tons of jewelry because my daughter will just pull on them. I just like to keep it simple. A ring on each hand, one bracelet, maybe two. And I have this one here. I don't know why it was hiding. Come out. This one my husband gifted to me as my birthday gift. This one is also sterling silver. This is the type of jewelry that I can sleep in, take a shower with and it will not come apart. So I'm really into that type of jewelry. Yes, it might be expensive at first, but probably don't have to worry about it for the rest of your life. Another thing I will no longer buy is powder, highlights, and blushes. I always wanted to keep a more minimalist approach in my makeup, and recently I purposely purchased palettes that have enough colors for me to use pretty much for a long time. For example, I got this Revolution palette that has all these blushes. It would probably take me years to go through this. Or like this e.l.f. highlight. Again, probably take me years to get through. And I have some leftover stuff from my older collection. I know that I'm going to be spending money in things that I will run out fast, such as like eyebrow products or like lip products and like concealers and foundations. So things like that I know that I'm gonna continue to purchase. Bronzers are a little bit different because I only really have one good bronzer that works for my skin. But again, it probably take me a long time to get through this one. Another thing I no longer buy are lip scrubs. I used to really get into the trend of buying lip scrubs when you can do a DIY yourself. When I'm brushing my teeth, the toothbrush will actually help me brush the dead skin off of my lips, and that's the only way that I have found to keep my lips looking pretty good. Another thing I no longer buy are hair accessories. The only things I really rely on are a couple simple black hair ties if I have to like tie my hair or braid my hair, a few headbands just to keep my bangs off of my face, and a few silk scrunchies for my hair. But that is it. I really don't even have enough time to work on my hair, so I no longer buy perfume. I know that perfume is really not good for you, for your health, and I know that the beauty market is working on removing perfumes and scents from out of our skincare and makeup. Who knows all the things that are inside perfumes. I do have leftover perfume. I'm not going to really just dump them and kind of be wasteful in that way, but I know that I really won't use them, maybe once in a blue moon. So I would really encourage you to look into perfumes, especially if you're a perfume collector. I don't know, just maybe something to give it a thought. And last but not least, I no longer buy wall plug scents like the ones from Bath & Body Works. The number one reason why is because with my toddler, I cannot longer have those things out. I know that she will get into it. So I've kind of gone back into my love for like candles. I am more interested in those like reed diffusers, like the little glass bottle that has like the oil and it's got like those, like the sticks. I don't have any right now to show you, but those have been my favorite because you can put them high up and I don't have to worry about my toddler ever getting to them, and they last for a long time, and I really like those. And they can be pretty inexpensive too versus like buying the wall plugs. I will find myself buying those like every month at Bath & Body Works, and that was a lot of money. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you find this entertaining and helpful in some way. Please leave me a comment down below as to what are some things that you no longer use or will no longer use. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.